Good evening to all. In this video, I talk about 44 sounds in English language with 3 term labels. We know very well that there are 44 sounds in English language. Among them, 24 are consonant sounds, 20 are vowel sounds. When we know how to produce these sounds, we can easily, when we know and learn how to produce this sound, we can easily pronounce word accurately. When we do not learn these sounds, it is highly difficult to gain pronunciation. What is the main intention of this video? To sensitize you toward pronunciation. What are the important factors in English language? Fluency and accuracy. We know everyone speaks good English, but no one is following right pronunciation. So we need to get right pronunciation with help of IPA. Then only it becomes intelligible to the foreign speakers or Indian speakers or receivers. See here 44 sounds. Here I tell you how to produce sound. Here I tell you how to produce each and every sound. Consonant sound and vowel sound. First we go by sound first, and then we discuss 3 term labels. First sound p, next b, next t, next d, next k, k, ch, ja, ma, na, ng, f, wa, th. Da, s, z, sh, j, r, r, ya, wa, la, ha. Next vowel sounds. E, I, E, ya, a, o, o, u, a, a, ya, wa, ya, yay, oi, I, au, ow. These are all 44 sounds in English language. First, we start a 3 term label for the p sound. P. It is a voiceless sound. Why it is voiceless? While producing this sound, our vocal cords are apart from each other, so they can't be vibrated. They can't be vibrated, so that it becomes voiceless sound. Why? What is bilabial sound? It is produced with help of 2 lips, upper lip and lower lip. So we call this sound as bilabial sound. What is plosive? Plosive is the sound which is produced with a lot of expulsion. How expulsion comes out? Expulsion comes out by air which is stored in our oral cavity for some time. So here what we understand, the air is released from oral cavity suddenly with a lot of air pressure from oral cavity. Here we can sense that lot of air pressure while producing this sound. Next, bha, bha. This is also plosive. While producing this sound also lot of air pressure comes out from our oral cavity. So we call this one as plosive. Expulsion, explosion, explosive. We know very well. Explosives make a lot of noise. Likewise, plosives also while producing these sounds we make a lot of noise. Next, bilabial sound. While producing this sound also, two lips are involved to produce this sound. Voiced one. While producing this sound, two vocal cords are vibrated. Two vocal cords are vibrated. Where are vocal cords situated? They are in glottis. They are situated in glottis. Glottis where vocal cords are situated. Ta sound is voiceless sound. Here also, why voiceless sound comes out? Voiceless sound comes out because of vocal cords. Vocal cords and their placement in the glottis. While producing voiceless sound, they are apart from each other. While producing voiceless sound, they are nearer to each other. They are very nearer, so they can produce voiceless sound. While producing voiceless sound, they are apart from each other. They are far from each other, so they can't produce sound. Alveolar sound. Why do we call this is the alveolar sound? Here, tip of the tongue touches to the alveolar ridge. Alveolar ridge is the organ which is located just behind upper teeth. It is ridge-like structures. It is a ridge-like structure which is located behind upper teeth. You can sense this part with your tip of the tongue. This is the alveolar region. The sound is produced in the alveolar region, so that this is the sound called alveolar sound. It is voiceless sound. We know very well. This is a voiceless sound. No need to explain once again. The alveolar sound, it is involved in the alveolar region, so it becomes alveolar sound. While producing this sound, the tip of the tongue goes against the alveolar region to produce this sound. Next, plosives. While producing this sound also, air comes out suddenly from oral cavity. Next, voiced sound. Here I know da, da, da. This is also alveolar sound, voiced one, plosive. I hope you can understand terminology what I explained few minutes ago. Ka, ka sound here, ka sound. It is voiceless sound. It is voiceless sound. I am not deciding here. This is voice. This is voice. This is voiceless. International Phonetic Association decided and determined about status here. I am not deciding here whether it is voiced or voiceless. Here, why this is a velar? Why do we call this is velar sound? Why do we call it as a velar sound? It involves in the velar region. Here, middle part of the tongue. Here, middle part of the tongue goes against velar region, soft palate to produce this sound. We know that the tongue is divided into four parts. First one is a tip, next one front part, next middle part, next back part. Front part always against alveolar ridge. Next middle part hard palate. Next back part velar region. Here while producing this sound, while producing sound, back part of the tongue goes and touches to the soft palate, which is beyond hard palate. Hard palate is nothing but roof of the mouth, where ridge-like structures are available. That is called hard palate. After hard palate, you can sense very smooth surface. That is called velar region. To produce this ka sound, back part of the tongue goes against to the soft palate region to produce this sound. Next, plosive. While producing this sound also, air comes out suddenly with a lot of explosion. So we call it as plosive. Next, voiced sound. Voiced, voiceless. I hope you can understand what is the difference between voiceless and voiced sound. Next, velar. Velar sound also, this is involved in velar region. Which is the velar region? Just beyond hard palate. Hard palate are nothing but they are ridge-like structures on the roof of the mouth. You can sense with the tip of the tongue also here. Uh, Ridge-like structures behind upper teeth are called alveolar ridge. Ridge-like structures on the roof of the mouth called alve uh, hard palate. Hard palate. We call it as hard palate. Plosive we know. These are all sounds are plosives. Next here, affricates. There are two affricates in English language. First one, ch. This is voiceless sounds. I hope you can sense that voiceless or voiced. By the sound, you can understand that this is voiceless. Here, middle part of the tongue touches to the post alveolar region. Just, just after alveolar ridge, there is a surface that is called post-alveolar region. Middle part of the tongue touches to the post-alveolar region to produce this sound. So this is the post-alveolar sound. Why do we call this sound as post-alveolar sound? The sound is involved in post-alveolar region. So we call this sound as post-alveolar sound. Where is the post-alveolar region? Just after alveolar region. Affricate. Affricate is the sound. It is the combination of fricative and plosive. This affricate has qualities of plosives and fricatives. What is the quality of mm, this plosives? Sound comes out suddenly. Sound comes out suddenly. What is the quality of fricatives? Voice, the sound comes slowly out of our oral cavity by manipulation of organs of speech. Here, affricate has both qualities. It has qualities of plosives and fricatives, so it is called affricate. Next here, ja, ja. It is voiced sound. This is voice. You can know that this is voiced sound by pronunciation. This is also post alveolar sound. It is affricate. What is the main difference here? One is voiceless, one is voiced. But all remaining features are same. These are two affricates in English language. Next, nozzles. These are nozzles. There are three nozzles in English language: ma, na, ng. These are three nozzles in English language. Ma. All three nozzles are voiced only. All three nozzles are voiced only. One is while producing ma sound, it is voiced sound only. Two lips are involved, so we call it as bilabial sound. While producing this sound, oral cavity is closed with help of soft palate. And while producing this sound, nasal cavity is opened whereas oral cavity is closed. While producing this sound, nasal cavity is open, oral cavity is closed. Try to understand this one. When nasal cavity is opened, nasal sound is produced here. Without involvement of nasal cavity, we can't produce these nasal sounds. Nasal cavity plays a crucial role to produce these kind of nasal sounds here. Na also, na voiced sound. We know alveolar sound here tip of the tongue goes against alveolar region to produce this na sound, alveolar sound. So this sound is called alveolar sound. Anyway, we know that this is na voiced sound. Next, nasal. Why do we call it as nasal? Nasal cavity is involved here, so we call it as nasal sound. Here two lips are involved, so that we call it as bilabial sound. Here nasal cavity is involved, so we call this sound as nasal sound. Here voiced sound only ng sound. We pronounce as ng. This is velar sound. Here back part of the tongue touches to the soft the region which is after hard palate region. That is called velar space. Back part of the tongue touches to the velar region to produce this ng sound. Here back part of the tongue and soft palate, they both are involved to produce this velar sound. This sound nasal sound. We know that. Why do we call nasal sound? Here nasal cavity is open, oral cavity is closed. Partially oral cavity is closed. Here nasal cavity is completely open. That's it. Next, fricatives. Fricatives. Fa, fa, fa. Here voiceless, labiodental. We know that by sound itself we can understand that this is voiceless. Here, organs of speech manipulate air. Organs of speech manipulate air to come out. Here, to produce these fricatives, fa, 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 to produce fa sound, labiodental, upper teeth and lower lip. These two are involved here to produce this sound. Upper teeth and lower lip are involved. So we call this sound as labiodental. Labio means lips, dental means teeth. So upper teeth and lower lip. So we call it as labiodental sound. It is fricatives. Fricative is the sound with a lot of noise. Here the it's a kind of no, the noise is coming out with a lot of friction with the creaky noise. The creaky noise, the why the sound is coming out with a creaky noise, so it is a fricative. The air comes out slowly with a lot of friction. Here in the affricate, little bit comes early. In the plosive, it comes out suddenly. Air comes out suddenly. It is a little bit slow. It little bit no. In the intermediary, it is no here very slowly. Air comes out very slowly by obstruction of organs of speech. It is voiceless sound. Next, wa sound. Wa wa. Here also, upper teeth and lower lip are involved, so it is called labiodental sound. It is voiced sound. It is a fricative. We know that with a lot of friction, air is released slowly. Air is released slowly, so it is called fricative. Next, th, th. Here voiceless sound, dental. While producing this sound, two upper teeth and lower teeth they both are involved to produce this sound. Upper teeth and lower teeth they both are involved to produce this sound. It is called interdental sound also. We call it as we call it as dental sound. Here, tip of the tongue is placed in between upper teeth and lower teeth. So it is called dental sound. Fricative, we know that voice comes out very slowly with the friction. So it is fricative. Voiceless, we know that it is voiceless. Hmm? I hope you are following my lecture. Next, the, the same. The main difference between the is one is voiceless, one is voiced. Both are dental fricative only. Next, here voiceless. Sa, 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 sa. Here, tip of the tongue goes against alveolar region to produce this alveolar sound. Why do we call alveolar sound? Tip of the tongue goes against alveolar region to produce this sound. So it is produced in the region of alveolar. So we call it as alveolar sound. Fricative, we know fricative. What fricative is? It is voiceless sound. Z, 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 z. It is also voiced sound. It is also alveolar. It is a fricative. Next, sh, sh. This sound is produced with the help of middle part of the tongue, and post-alveolar region. Post-alveolar region is passive organ, passive organs of speech. Next, middle part of the tongue is active organs of speech. Here one is voiceless. Sh, sh, sh is voiceless. Here middle part of the tongue goes against post-alveolar region. Where is post-alveolar region? Just beyond, just after alveolar region. That is called post-alveolar region. Before hard palate, before hard palate, after alveolar ridge. This is the space available, post alveolar space. This is also fricative. This is why z, z. This is voiced one. This is voiced one. Post, this also occurs in post alveolar region. It is also fricative. Just r, r. While producing this sound, tip of and middle part of the tongue again touches to the hard palate to produce this raw sound. This is voiced sound. This is approximate. In the approximants, the organs of speech are partially closed, so we call them as approximants. Here, this is it involve it occurs. This sound is produced in the region of hard palate. Hard palate. This sound is produced with help of hard palate and middle part of the tongue. Next, this is voiced. We know that r, r, r of the middle part of the tongue touches to the hard palate again to produce this sound. Next, ya sound. Ya sound is a palatal sound. Middle part of the tongue touches to the hard palate region. Where is the hard palate region? The ridge-like structures are available on the roof of the mouth. They are called hard palate combinedly. Here, hard middle part of the tongue touches to the palatal region to produce this sound. This is voiced sound. Ya. While producing this sound, organs of speech slide against each other. They slide one above another. Yeah, yeah, you can sense, no? Next, wa sound. Wa sound. This is wa sound. This is also voicer sound. This is labial. Labial and velar. Wa, 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 wa. While producing sound, two lips are involved at the same time. Back part of the tongue touches to the velar region. Hmm? So this is called voiced labiovelar approximate. Approximate nothing but the organs of speech slide one above another. So it is called approximate. Next, the la sound. La is voiced. We know that it also while producing this sound, front part of the tongue touches to the alveolar region to produce la sound. While why do we call lateral approximate? Tongue is called while producing la sound. Tongue is called air escapes. Air escapes from sides of the tongue. Through sides of the tongue, air is escaped here. Air is escaped through sides of the tongue. You can sense that. That's mainly why do we call it as alveolar sound? To produce this sound, we require alveolar region and front part of the tongue. So this is called alveolar sound. Next, this is voiceless sound. Voiceless, the glottal sound. This sound, this sound is produced with help of glottis. Glottis. This is also fricative. This is also fricative. I hope you can understand. Now we discuss vowel sounds. What are vowel sounds? What are vowel sounds? Well, all vowel sounds are voiced sounds only. But among consonant sounds, there are there are few voiced sounds, few voiceless sounds. But in among vowel sounds, all are voiced only. Among vocal cords are very nearer to each other to produce sound. Here in consonants, there are two different cases, voiced to voiceless. I want to talk about vowel sounds here. Here, place of articulation, manner of articulation. Next, lip rounding. These three factors are important. Here, see, place of articulation, where it occurs. Here, see, front, front. Manner of articulation, how it occurs. Place of articulation means where sound is produced. Manner of articulation means how sound is produced. Next, lip rounding means while producing vowel sound, what is the position of our lips, whether rounded or unrounded. E, first sound E. While producing this sound, the, it occurs in the front part. It occurs on front part of the tongue. So it is called front vowel. Why do we call closed vowel? While producing this sound, E, E, is back part of the tongue closes the oral cavity. So this is called closed vowel. This is unrounded vowel. While producing this sound, in our lips are in unrounded position. So it is called unrounded vowel. Next, central vowel E. This sound occurs. This occurs on central part of the tongue. So it is called central vowel. Next, it is the front vowel. It is the front vowel. It is unrounded vowel. Unrounded. While producing this sound, our lips are our lips. Our lips. What is the shape of our lips? Unrounded position. Next, A. This sound also occurs in front position. Unrounded vowel. Unrounded. Next, half open. What is the position of our mouth while producing A sound? Half close, and half open. Next, Ya sound. Ya sound. This sound also occurs in front position. While producing this sound also unrounded, unrounded, unrounded. While producing this sound, our mouth is in open position. Our mouth is in open position. Next, ah, ah. This sound occurs on the back part of the tongue, so it is called back vowel. While producing this sound, what is the position of our mouth? Open. While producing the sound, what is the position of our lips? Unrounded. Next, O. This also occurs in back part of the tongue. While producing the sound, what is the position of our lips? Rounded. Next, it is an open vowel. Why do we call open vowel? Our mouth, our mouth is open while producing the sound. Next, O. This occurs on the back part of the tongue. This occurs on back part of the tongue. Next, it is rounded. Our lips should be in rounded position while producing the sound. Our mouth appears in half closed or half open position. Next, O. O. This also sound occurs in back part of the tongue. Next, close. Our mouth appears in closed position. Our lips will be in rounded position. Next, O. This is long vowel. O is long vowel. O is short vowel. O. Like that. This is also back vowel, rounded vowel. Our mouth appears in half open, half close. This is a central unrounded vowel. This occurs on central part of the tongue. This vowel occurs on central part of the tongue. This is while producing this sound, our lips are in unrounded position. Our mouth is open. Our mouth is open position. This sound also occurs on central part of the tongue. Our lips position is unrounded position. Our lips are in unrounded position. Our mouth appears in half closed, half open position. This is also central. Why do we call central vowel? It occurs in middle part of the oral cavity and the middle part of the tongue, so that we call it as a central vowel. While producing this sound, what is the shape of our lips? Unrounded position. What is the position of our mouth? Half open, half closed. This sound ya, ya. While producing this sound, it occurs from front position to middle part. Here, organs of speech glide from front position to middle position. Here, E is front vowel, A is central position. This sound occurs in front part of the tongue. This is middle part of the. Here, gliding happens here. See, there are a few. When ER occurs, you need to utter ER. See, all of you observe graphemes here. Next sound is OA. OA. Here, back to central. Here, glide happens from back position to central position. Next, yeah. Here, unrounded only. Unrounded only. Whenever you see central vowel, it is unrounded position only. Here, yeah. This is the yeah sound. Yeah also front to central position. Glide happens from front to central position. The unrounded position. What is the position of our lips? Unrounded. Here across the all diphthongs. Here all these OA sound, EA sound, the previous sound, all are diphthongs. Diphthong is combination of two vowel sounds. Diphthong is combination of two sounds. Monophthongs, there are 20 vowel sounds. Among them, 12 monophthongs, 8 diphthongs. 12 monophthongs are called pure vowels. These are called complex vowels or diphthongs. Diphthongs are combination of two vowel sounds. Monophthongs is combination of only single sound. Monophthong is single sound. Hmm? Here a sound, a sound. Glide happens from front position to central position. Hmm? Unrounded only. Next a sound. Here from front position to front position. Gliding happens from front position to front position. Anyway, our mouth across the all vowel sounds while producing across the all diphthongs, mouth is in half closed or half open position. Hmm? Here see graphemes. Whenever you see these graphemes, you need to utter this sound. Hmm? Next, O, O. Here from back position to here gliding is happening from back position to front position. Gliding is happening from back position to front position. OI. Here whenever you see OI, O, OY, OI, OI, OE. Next, Whenever you see these graphemes, you need to utter this sound. Next, I. Here gliding happens from front position to front position. Front position to position. Here, our mouth is in open position. While producing this diphthong, our mouth is in open position. Next, ow. While producing this sound, our mouth is in closed position. Our mouth will be in closed position. This mainly gliding happens from front to back. What is the position of our lips? Rounded lips comes out. Rounded lips. We can see rounded lips while producing this diphthong. These are a few graphemes. Whenever OA occurs, you need to produce roundness, soul, go, nose. See, these are the few graphemes which help you to pronounce word accurately. These are all consonant sounds, vowel sounds. I hope I explained very well. Any doubts you can post in the chat box. I always welcome your doubts. Hmm? Thank you one and all.